She said I wasn't ambitious enough, said I lacked drive. But I drove her to every job interview, paid half her tuition, and I was the one who picked out her engagement ring, with a loan I'm still paying off. That's how she ended it. Not with a goodbye. Not with a conversation. But with a note on the kitchen table, scribbled like a grocery list, and a selfie of her and Ethan, smiling in his convertible, headed to the Hamptons. I stood in our apartment, my apartment, staring at the empty closet where her clothes used to be. Her perfume still lingered in the air, but she didn't. Her name was Kayla. We met sophomore year at Purdue. She was the shy girl with paint on her jeans and sketchbooks full of dreams. I was a business major. Boring, maybe, but grounded, reliable. The type of guy who showed up every time. She wanted to be a designer. I wanted to build a life. We clicked, we laughed, we planned, and for a while, it worked. I remember the first night I held her while she cried about her parents not believing in her art. The first time she got a D in one of her courses, and I stayed up with her until 3 a.m. rebuilding her portfolio. The time I worked a second job bartending just so we could afford the application fee to her dream internship in New York. She got in, and I didn't hesitate to say, go. It was just 3 months. A summer, I'd hold it down here. She texted me every night, FaceTimed me from rooftops, sent me pictures of the fashion district, of her designs, of her team. And then came Ethan, her mentor. He was older, rich, charming in that trust fund meets GQ kind of way. He'd taken a liking to her designs. That's what she said. He believes in me, she'd whisper over video chat. I didn't think much of it. She called me every night. She told me she loved me. She wore the ring I gave her on that New Year's Eve under fireworks. But love, it turns out, has an expiration date, especially when the label reads Millionaire. She was supposed to land back in Indy on a Friday. I cleaned the apartment, got her favorite wine, booked dinner at the steakhouse she loved. She never showed. No missed call, no text, nothing. I called, straight to voicemail. It wasn't until 3 a.m. that I got a DM from one of her college friends. Bro, you didn't hear? They sent a screenshot. A story on Instagram. Kayla. In a rooftop infinity pool, wrapped in Ethan's arms. Caption, so grateful for this new chapter. She was still wearing the ring. But it wasn't mine anymore. You ever scream so hard in silence that your ribs ache? That was me. Alone. Jaw clenched, eyes dry from staring at the same wall. My landlord knocked twice. Bills were piling up. I lost my part-time job because I kept missing shifts. People stopped asking if I was okay. I wasn't. I started sleeping on the couch. I couldn't go near our bed. Her mugs were still in the cabinet. Her toothbrush was still in the bathroom. Every corner of the place whispered her name. One night, I found an old voicemail. Baby, I know we'll make it no matter what. You and me against the world, right? I threw my phone across the room. But then came the message, the one that lit the fuse. A week later, her name popped up again. An email. Subject line, hey, I hope you're doing okay. I need to ask a favor. She needed some of her files for a project. They were on my laptop, the one she used for school because hers broke. Sophomore year. I'd really appreciate it. I know things are weird right now, but I'm grateful for everything. Ethan and I are moving to LA soon. Grateful. She used that word like she was thanking a barista for a latte. That's when the switch flipped. I didn't scream, didn't reply, didn't block her. I opened my laptop and smiled. Kayla wasn't just some broke art student anymore. She was Ethan's golden girl, his muse, and according to her Instagram, She had just signed a preliminary deal with a luxury startup brand Ethan was helping fund. They were showcasing her designs at a private gala in New York. Invitation only. It was her big break, her dreams unfolding. All I had to do was tug one thread. The plan. I wasn't going to destroy her with fire, I'd do it with facts. See, what Kayla forgot was this. I helped build everything she was now pretending to have done alone. The internship, resume, I wrote it. The designs in her portfolio, half were my edits. The pitch deck she used for her project last spring, I built the damn presentation. And on that old laptop she wanted access to, her original files. The proof of who did what, and when. So I didn't send her anything. Instead, I started collecting. I backed up everything, date-stamped PSD's emails showing who contributed what, voice memos of her asking me to just fix it a little before submission. Then I looked up the luxury brand she was joining. It was run by a man named Victor King, Ethan's godfather, a cutthroat businessman with a no-tolerance policy for fraud or IP theft. So I sent a package, anonymous, meticulous, labeled, "For Mr. King's Eyes Only, Urgent Intellectual Property Concern." Inside, a printed dossier, screenshots, design layers, even a timeline of file creation, and a simple note. Before you invest in her future, make sure she didn't steal someone else's past. Then I waited. Silence. For 4 days. No news, no emails, just me, alone with my rage, my patience, and a quiet kind of satisfaction that made sleep come easier than it had in weeks. Then on the 5th day, boom. It started with a post from the luxury brand's official page. We regret to announce that Kayla Monroe will no longer be presenting at this year's Manhattan Design Gala. No explanation, no press release, just that. I knew what it meant. Victor King had seen the truth and yanked the plug before she even had a chance to plug herself in. But that wasn't the satisfying part. No. That came when I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Hello? Silence. Then her voice, small, cracked. Did you send them something? I didn't answer. She kept going. They dropped me. Ethan's furious. He said I made him look like a joke. His godfather won't speak to him. He said I lied. But you know, I didn't. I just needed help. You helped me, right? That was the moment. The exact second I realized she didn't regret leaving me. She regretted losing everything I built for her. And I wasn't done yet. Kayla had created a professional website for her design brand. Elegant, pretentious, full of words like self-made and visionary. And I knew something she didn't. She had used copyrighted fonts, images from mood boards that were never properly licensed. Even her logo, a slight variation of a template I'd made for a college project. She thought she was untouchable. So I reported everything. To the hosting platform, to the copyright holders, to the licensing agencies. Her site was pulled offline within 72 hours. Her Instagram bio, once bragging about her launch, was suddenly blank. But that still wasn't enough. Twist the knife. The truth needed to breathe. She had spent months on that internship in New York. And guess what? Their company had an ethics clause. I sent another anonymous packet, this time to the director of her former internship program, included screenshots of her submitting my designs as hers, emails with her saying, "Just fix it for me like last time. You're better at this layout stuff anyway." They revoked her recommendation letter and blacklisted her from future partnerships. I didn't even need to hack her life, I just told the truth. And the truth, when properly framed, is more devastating than any lie. I didn't see it happen, but I heard about it from the same friend who first sent me that Instagram post. Apparently, once Victor King cut ties with Kayla, Ethan's golden boy image took a hit. He was known for his instincts, for spotting talent. And now, his big claim, his fiancée, was exposed as a fraud with no original work and a digital trail of dependency. Word spread in their circles, whispers of stolen designs, fabricated resume, overhyped amateur. Ethan dumped her 2 weeks later. Not in private, but on the record. A short, curated statement to a fashion blog. We've decided to part ways personally and professionally. While I wish her the best, I cannot condone creative dishonesty in any form. He buried her without ever using her name. Though. She never expected weeks passed. Then one night my phone buzzed. An email from Kayla. Subject, please, just read. She poured her heart into that message, told me she was sorry, that she lost herself in that world, that she missed the real things, that she hoped one day, maybe, we could talk, even be friends. She said, "You're the only person who ever really saw me." And maybe that's true. But I also saw her leave me for a richer man, like I was disposable. So I replied, "I saw you, and then you showed me who you really are. That version I don't miss." It would have been enough to leave it there, but something in me, not bitterness, just clarity, said there needed to be closure. Real closure. So I wrote a post on a designer's subreddit, anonymous but detailed. How I ghost-built my ex-fiancée's career and then watched it collapse after she left me for a millionaire. No names, no slander, just facts, screenshots, dates, evidence. It blew up, top post for a week, shared across LinkedIn circles. Even a few design blogs picked it up under the headline, "The Invisible Man Behind the Brand." Suddenly people were talking, not about her designs, but about how someone else had made them real. Kayla's name was never mentioned publicly. But everyone who needed to know knew. She couldn't rebuild, not without those whispers following her. The aftermath. I didn't win her back. I won myself back. I moved out of that apartment, sold the ring, used the money to fund a certification course in branding and UX, something I'd always wanted to do, but postponed because she needed help. I got a new job, then a better one. People started seeing me for what I actually bring to the table. I don't stalk her profiles anymore. But I heard she moved back to Indiana, living with her sister, trying to start a blog, a small one, about healing through heartbreak. Funny thing is, she still uses that old logo, the one I made. She tried to build a future on the ashes of the man who built her foundation. But I learned something she never did. When you burn the bridge you crossed on, don't be surprised when there's no way back. Have you ever trusted someone so deeply, only for them to weaponize that trust against you? If someone ever used your love as a stepping stone, you're not alone. Drop your story in the comments. Let it out. Some of us are still bleeding through the smile. This isn't fiction for some of us, it's our life.